Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. Sometimes with these episodes, I don't always know how to feel because I don't think that this is a bad show. And this episode was actually better, so far than a lot of the other episodes that I've seen. I mean, granted, the astronaut stuff was great. I love that stuff. Um, I'm see with me, I haven't watched the show that okay. So I don't really fully emotionally understand the animosity that everyone has against Diane. Okay. And let's see. So in the beginning, Diane and Phyllis are, you know, Diane walks in and she's being, I don't even know how to sit there and put it. It's not bitchy, but it's like trying to goad each other. And that's what they try to do the entire time. Is they try to goad each other. They both come across as super petty. Okay? And it's sad because it's like for some odd reason, whenever I look at those two arguing with each other, I'm just like I feel like this is high school over again. Um Now afterwards, because you got Kyle and you got Summer, which I still don't find to be very interesting characters, are basically, well, Summer, for some odd reason, and I don't understand why she agreed to hire Phyllis to work at Marquetti, knowing that Diane's there, knowing that their history, and she has to sit there and pitch this to Kyle. And Kyle's like, what? Why would we do something like that for her? You don't think that she has ulterior motives or anything like that, given our parents' history? Like, you really think that's a good idea? And Summer's like, well, she really wants to leave. She really wants to do that, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, I can't believe you are naive enough to actually buy, because she actually believes the stuff that came out of Phil's mouth as far as, oh, the hotel runs itself and, I really want to work with you again. And I'm just like, this is one of those things where I have to put it under the category of over plot over logic and common sense. Okay, because it's not like Summer hasn't been working before and in business and stuff like that. I can't believe that she's that stupid enough to sit there and hire her mother, knowing that there's a good chance that she has ulterior motives and that she's only doing it just to get back at Diane. But they agree to do this as some sort of a test. Be like, well, if you can work together, then you can coexist together, and our family could be somewhat, on not on shaky grounds as far as a constant, drama and stuff like that. So they each respectively talk to their mothers. Um, Phyllis was, she wasn't happy about the conditions and things of that nature, but she understood it. So she was a lot more receptive to not bothering Diane and just being like, hey, listen, it's just business. When it came towards Diane, that was like, yo, listen, I'm already here. You got this chick that's going to come in here and just pretty much F things up for me. Like, what are you, nuts? Why would you do that for? You know exactly, who Phyllis is and what she's probably going to do. And of course, they gave them both parameters of either one of y'all starts ish with the other person, you're done. You're done. And which makes this kind of unfair is that if Phyllis does something, she gets caught, she gets fired, she has a place to return to. She has a job. But with Diane, I don't think that she doesn't have money like that. So, I mean, in this case, I feel more bad for Diane than I do about Phyllis. And of course, later on, she meets up with Nikki, and she tells Nikki, "Yo, listen, it's gonna be a lot more trickier because like I gotta be on my p's and q's, otherwise I'm out." And Nikki's like, "So that means you giving second thoughts?" No, 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 no. I'm gonna run this bitch out of town. I'm just like, sweetheart, this stuff happened like over 20 something years ago. Like, really? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a person that holds onto a grudge like there's no tomorrow. But I'm not holding it to a point of running somebody out of town for some stuff that happened 20 years ago. So for me, it's kind of hard to get invested into it. Now, obviously, this isn't for newcomers because people who've been watching this for years, they're probably enjoying this. Like if you've been watching this for so long, do you find the story interesting? I imagine most people do because it's a long payoff, and not seeing this character in X amount of years, knowing all the stuff that she did, knowing all the stuff that she caused, it has to be satisfying to sit there and have her come back and get into all this drama with these characters. I guess in some sort of way, and it's kind of hard to compare, but I'm going to try. It's like as Alcazar came back and he wanted to sit there and try to reform, and Sonny was just like, "Nah, bro. Nah, I want you going. I want you out of town." Now, if I'm new to the show, somebody's new to the show, I'm like, "Yo, listen. I mean, I get, you had some issues with him before, but like the dude came back and he hasn't done anything since." Me watching it from the beginning that Alcazar got in town, all the stuff that he did with Sonny, the back and forth, it would be satisfying to sit there and watch them pick up that rivalry again. So I'm saying, like, I get why they're doing the story, and I get the fans that are loving it. It's just I don't really have anything to, I'm not feeling it as much, and I kind of find it to be petty. But that's because I'm not emotionally invested in these characters and their rivalry as long as some other people. And I remember I was talking to a couple of subscribers who sit there and say, well, you really wouldn't understand because you kind of got to be familiar with the history, and you really wouldn't get it because of what this other stuff that's going on. And I'm starting to notice a pattern. Okay, I'm starting to notice a pattern, and oof, don't get me wrong, it's not saying there's not room to actually get into the show. And let's say you didn't watch the show and you just started watching it today. I'm not saying that there's no room. It's just a little tricky. And this is coming from a person who just started watching Days like maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And I love the show. And granted, there's certain things that I don't always get, like Bo and Hope and EJ and Sam, and some other stuff. Well, Sammy, because apparently there's Sam, and then there's Sammy. My point is, I get that certain things is hard to kind of get into, but I feel like this is another reason why in the beginning I struggled with Y&R watching it, because I'm not just saying there's no characters I can't get into, but some of this stuff is just like ingrained in history, and if you don't get it, you're kind of just like you're out of the loop on an emotional level, and it's hard to connect with characters because of those reasons. Now, there was some scenes that I felt like wasn't really fully necessary. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not bad, but it's like, all right, Jack and Trace are at the park, and Tracy is asking Jack what his feelings with Diane, and he's like, yo, listen, we're just taking this one day at a time. I don't know if I could trust her or not, but she's trying. I was like, was that really necessary? Don't get me wrong, I don't not like Jack, but I feel like there's certain things that you just do. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Chase is still asking Victoria and Nick the same questions for like the 100th time, and I don't understand. At some point, why don't Nick or Victoria just be like, You know what? Listen, you done asked me these questions a ton of times. Maybe you should ask my lawyer. Like, as in, lawyer. It's not like they don't have them. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they don't have one on speed dial. But for some odd reason, and because they need to catch people up, and I get that, it's like he went to the same questions over again. He talked about the evidence, the new evidence that's sort of grainy. Oh, you know, the the site suggests that there was somebody else that was there. There was a cigarette butt somewhere, and I'm like, all that stuff seems very circumstantial. Oh, there may be somebody in the car, but it's very grainy evidence. All right, so let me get this straight. You done asked them the same question. You gave them that there's somewhat, sort of, maybe kind of evidence, and you questioned it for about a good 20 minutes. Okay, wow. I'm so glad that I sat through that. And afterwards, Nick was upset. Victoria was like, yo, listen, you kept pushing Victor to sit there and give you the truth. And I didn't give you the truth. And now you can't even sit there and have deniability. Oh, and by the way, I can't have that either since, well, you told me. So, but Nick is angry. His dad has a history of controlling things and making situations worse than what they are. And this is just one of the long list of things that he's done that, while he may thought that he was helping, kind of screwed over the family. Now, Victor and Nikki wasn't really talking too much. I mean, well, they weren't really talking too much of anything important. I mean, Victor was like, "Well, he's gone, he's dead," and Nikki was like, "You act like you have some sort of win over him, like some sort of triumph over him. Like, what's going on?" They don't really get into it too much. But one thing that Nikki said that I wasn't really comfortable with was when they brought up Adam. And Nikki was like, listen, I know you don't want to hear this, but I think for right now, you need to kind of just, give up on him or whatever. Especially when he was like, listen, they said, she said something about the long lines of like, family, the family's not whole if Adam isn't here. I'm like, okay, cool. But I kind of think you should just, I mean, for your own sanity, you should probably just give up. Would you give up on Nick or Victoria? Why the hell would you even say something like that? I literally just like, me putting a big ass question mark right there when she said that. I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Um, Now towards the end of the episode, oh, one other thing. Um, Chance did sit there and say, well, listen, I'm not saying that you covered everything up. You told me, and if you was trying to cover stuff up, you wouldn't have called me. But I feel like your dad has something, something to do with it. Now towards the end, he did want to go into the ranch. He gets there. Victor's just sitting in there, with the chessboard, and I'm just like, I don't know why, but I really like that scene. There was something about that scene and the chessboard that just worked for me. I don't know what it was, but you know how Victor is when it comes towards playing chess, being 2 or 3 moves ahead of everyone else. So when I see him sitting there and the chessboard is there, like, sit down. I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm seeing something that's not really there, but given his history and all the stuff that they talk about it, I'm just like, for some odd reason, I really appreciated that, that visual right there. Can't really think of anything else that happened, or at least the most pertinent information. Um, so with that being said, I'm gonna go. I know this came out super late. I'm really sorry about that. I had some stuff that I had to fill out. I'm putting out a video right after this one, so it's gonna be 3 videos. Um, but this is just me talking about being accepted into the YouTube partnership program, which is stuff I had to sit there and kind of fill out, which took a while. Um, to take care of. But I am very excited. I'm also really tired, but I'm very excited. And I couldn't have done this without everyone watching my videos, share my videos, and I try not to be too obnoxious about that because I know just how obnoxious that sounds. Especially when people like my video. I'm like, well, if you're a good video, if you have a good video, I'm gonna like it. If it's not a good video, then I'm gonna dislike it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Share the video. Come on, seriously. But I do understand the value of that. So I don't dislike it as much as I used to. Me saying that just sounds hypocritical, but I do understand that when you're in that position and you're growing a channel, you want to continue growing. That there's certain things you have to say and do. Um, and although it either comes across as begging or annoying, I mean, just being annoying or whatever, it's like you kind of have to say it. Um, to grow your channel. And I guess in a little bit, there was a time that I worked at Barnes and Nobles. I don't want to sit there and speak ill of it because I don't have all bad memories of it. But, you had to push a lot of things. And I understand that. I guess I understand a little bit more now, to some extent. I still felt like they went a little bit too hard on pushing certain things. But I say that because I can appreciate. I don't want to sit there and say it. Because I didn't appreciate the way it would just come across as very forceful at times. But I understand the drive to constantly grow your business and be successful at it. Especially seeing that Barnes Nobles had a lot of competition in the past, and they were just wow, it was practically dust, and Barnes Nobles is still standing. Um, I say that because again, I understand why they push certain things. So when I sit there and say things like, if you can share the video, that really help. That really does help. Um, I'm finding that stuff out a little bit more, and I do appreciate people coming for this journey. Um, that means the world to me. Before any sort of money or anything like that, just doing this was just enough, you know. So I want to thank everyone, for that. Even when I put out my, thank you for the 1,000 subscribers and stuff like that, it's part of the journey. Part of the journey, and I love each and every single person that joins me on it. That either likes the video or disagrees with some of the stuff I say. It's there regardless. You know. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and this is just the first of many. And I want to thank everyone for just being on this journey so far. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video.